NumismaTalks every second and fourth Thursday of the month. At noon Mountain, we will be here with a new presentation. During this presentation, you may come up with questions. If you do, please use the Q&A button on your screen to send in your question. Your question will most likely be addressed at the end of the presentation. Now I would like to introduce you to today's presenter, ANA Medal of Merit and Glenn Smedley Award winner, Simcha Kuritzky, has given numerous presentations nationally, online, and to local clubs. As president of the American Israel Numismatic Association, he is currently updating their Israel coin catalog, including some innovative ways of arranging the listings. Simcha will be presenting Israel commemorative coins by series. It's all yours, Simcha.
All right, so let me bring up the PowerPoint.
And I will mute and turn my camera off, but I'll be here in case you need anything.
Okay.
And I see it.
All right. So, as was just said, I'm Simcha Kuritzky, president of the American Israel Numismatic Association, as well as a district rep for the ANA. And I'm here to talk to you about a long neglected series of coins, Israel's Commemoratives. There we go. Back in the 1960s and 70s, Israel coins were hot. In addition to the umbrella American Israel Numismatic Association founded in 1967, there were local Israel coin clubs in several metropolitan areas around the US and, of course, in Israel. Israel's commemorative issues had to be rationed, and they sold out, allowing lucky buyers to resell them for a profit. This was actually before my time. Well, I started collecting in 1971. I was quite young and couldn't afford Israel coins except for some of the trade or circulation issues. I didn't buy my first commemorative until 1982 after I'd graduated college and was working full-time, and prices had already started what would be a very long decline. So why is the Israel commemorative market depressed? Anyone can buy commemorative coins from 58 into the 90s for a little over melt. The more recent coins may be double melt, but that's quite reasonable given that the silver coins have mintages of around 2000 and the gold coins around 500. There are a number of possible reasons, but I think two of them which can be remediated are the large number of issues and the difficulty in using the available catalogs. So first, let's look at the number of issues. If we look at total coin types needed to complete a typeset, which includes all the different denominations but does not differentiate between matte finish and proof, or die varieties like with or without pearl, excuse me. In 1961, when the Prime Minister's office formed the Israel Government Coins and Metals Corporation, there are 22 trade or circulation types and 10 commemoratives, making a total of 32. By 1967, considered by some to be the height of the Israel market, spurred on by the euphoria of Israel's victory over much larger armies that year, there were a total of 48 types. No wonder collectors were looking at coins with microscopes and collecting every little die variety they could document. There were just not a lot of different types to have in a set. By Israel's silver anniversary in 73, the total was now up to 78. In 1980, when Israel abandoned the lira for the shekel and the market began to get saturated, it was up to 112. Since then, the number of coins sold per type was rapidly declining. Israel increased the number of types to keep sales up. In only 6 years, through the shekel series, until Israel replaced the shekel with the new shekel, they were up to 174 types. By 2000, this has gone to 393, and today they're 647. So what do we do with all of these types? Well, if you look in a catalog, you see that it can get very confusing. So here is the Yeoman catalog. This is an old one. I had got a used one way back before Krause came out, and this goes up to 65. So Yeoman numbering is strictly chronologic, but the presentation in the catalog is not. They put the commemoratives between the Pruta coins and the Agora coins. Initially, that made sense because the the commemoratives were all high denominations. They were half pound, pound, and 5 pound. And while there was a collector 500 pruta, there really wasn't a circulating half pound and or the other denominations. So they stuck them between them. But then when the Agora came out in 1960, you see the number is 22 here. The Herzl commemorative is 21, and then it jumps to 27. Those are the circulating issues are in between there. And that certainly wasn't sustainable. Then we look at the Krause catalog. And so the Krause catalog goes by denomination, but they split everything by monetary reform. So the Pruta series is off in the beginning. They don't even bother with the commemoratives of the Pruta series. They just lump them together in the Agara series because they both use the lira. And then the but you have both. You have the trade coins, right? You've got the special mint set trade coins. I don't know if you can see my arrow, but and then you've got the commemorative trade coins like the 25th anniversary of the state, and then you've got the true commemoratives, and they're all listed there in denomination sequence. But then, of course, whenever you have a monetary reform, it starts all over again. So you don't see things consistently across. So the Bank of Israel issued a catalog in 1990, and they actually list out the separate series: Independence Day series, the Hanukkah series, Pidyon Ben, and then they have distinguished people, special events. So they're actually started to do that, but the circulating commemoratives were mixed together with the circulating coins, even though they're really commemoratives. Numismatica has a bilingual catalog that's out, and they separate out the gold coins from the silver coins, which makes it a little confusing. The silver coins will indicate if it's part of an anniversary series, but the gold coins really don't, unless that's the topic. Like the bonds, you can see up in the upper left there, it just says bonds, right? That's actually an anniversary series. The next one does say 30th anniversary. So you really couldn't tell what series it is from the gold listing. So Hafner's catalog, which came out under the aegis of the American Israel Numismatic Association, although she had a couple of catalogs before then. But they split it out by series, and which is, what this talks about is the way to collect is really to do it by series. But there are two problems with it. Well, first off, it ended in around 1988. There was a supplement that went up to 92. So you're already talking 3 decades out of date. But also, she separated out the gold coins as a separate series, which made sense initially because the first 3 gold coins, excuse me, the first 3 gold coins didn't have any silver equivalents. And also only the first coin could be legally imported to the United States at the time. And then the rules kept changing. But in 75, of course, all that opened up for gold coins. And then special issues, everything just started becoming special issues. She didn't start splitting them out like the Holy Land commemorative, the Holy Sites commemoratives. That's a separate series, but she just lumped them into special issues. So I looked through the series. I looked at the different catalogs. So the ones that are listed with an asterisk after them, they're the ones that either the Bank of Israel itself or some other catalog listed as an actual series. So there are 12 official series that exist. And then looking at the different coins, you can kind of figure out that there's some other series. So that would include like the historical persons, right? The Bank of Israel catalog mentioned that, but it's not an official series. And then there's two catch-alls. So the contemporary events for commemoratives about things that are going on currently, and the anniversaries for things that you're celebrating the 100th anniversary or the 2000th anniversary or whatever. I also split out the sports into a separate one because, you know, it's logical that some people may only be interested in sports, and it's a different kind of contemporary event. But what I also want to do is when somebody collects Israel money, they often don't separate out. So some people only collect coins, some people only collect paper money. Some people may include the unusual coins that, you know, in the Bruce catalog. I put them all together. If people don't want to collect something, that's fine, but I want to have them make an informed decision. The decision is theirs, but the information is my responsibility. So I include paper money. There are two commemorative banknotes that have been issued for Israel's anniversary. I'm including them with the coins. I'm also including the Euro series, which was issued by the Bank of Israel, even though they're not legal tender. Israel doesn't have the authority to issue Euro coins, but they had these special issues in 96 and 97, so I include those. So basically, the catalog will have this two-letter code. The first letter indicates the group because there are, you know, 17 different series. Some of them naturally fell together into groups. So you got anniversaries, you got contemporary events. Now, religious could have included the ritual art, the biblical artwork, the biblical wildlife, but I decided that religious would be supposed to be used for religious purposes. So they have the Hanukkah money that could be given as presents, the Purim, which is for the temple tax that is collected at that time, Pidyon Haben, which is redemption of the firstborn son. And those also, because they, well, the last two, the Purim and the Pidyon Haben, because this is a religious obligation, Israel started issuing medals, silver medals for that purpose. So I include those because, you know, they are a half shekel or a shekel piece, even if they're not legal tender. And Hanukkah coins, they also started doing trade coins with a special Hanukkah inscription. So those are all together. Although for the circulating issues, I do cross-reference. And if we have time at the end, I will show you the circulating catalog because I've actually gotten that one put together. So the catalog number starts with this two-character code, two-letter code, where the first letter indicates the group, and then is followed by a three-digit sequence number. I don't believe in building in obsolescence. We may run out of 2 digits eventually, so why not just do 3 now and not have to worry about it for 900 years? And then possibly a suffix letter if there are different denominations that are there. But if it's only like proof versus non-proof, then it has like a .1 and a .2 to indicate that, you know, people may want to go down to that level of detail, or they may not. So the anniversary series is the longest lasting series, started in 58. Is still going. There was a break in 2016 due to a contract dispute. But otherwise, it's been going on. Hafner's catalog only lists the silver anniversary commemoratives. But this does include gold coins, and it does include the circulation style coins. So we have at the upper left, we have the silver, the second silver coin that was issued. We have next to it the 25th anniversary gold coin, one of the gold coins. They had a set of 3. And then down below, you can see at the bottom left, you've got the 25th anniversary. It says year 25 of the state on a 25 agora coin. We have a later gold coin up the upper right. And then for the 40th anniversary, Israel had a special set of coins, regular strike and PA4, which is double thick and also happens to be pure nickel. And then paper money. So we have the 60th year of the state of Israel printed on the 20 shekel banknote, which actually circulated. And so they're all included under the anniversary. So then we have other anniversaries, which is a catch-all. Starts off with the Bank of Israel. Excuse me, I'm getting over a bacterial infection. 10th anniversary of the bank, which is with a gold coin with no silver equivalent. Then also for the 25th anniversary of the bank, in December of 79, they had a proof set. So here I show that AN002 is the entire proof set, and the individual coins are A through G. And then we have Bnei Bris 150th anniversary, Kaisaria's 2000th anniversary. These are just some examples of the different anniversary coins. Chanukah, so this is the second series chronologically, but there are several gaps. The original coins were copper nickel, and theoretically they could have circulated, but they were sold at a slight premium. They were the first 1 pound coins since basically Egypt. So for 10 years under the Palestine Mandate, Egypt coins circulated in the land of Israel. And Egypt issued a gold 100 piastres, which was equivalent to 1 pound, or as they say in Arabic, a gunay, and of 1922. So that was the last actual 1 pound coin until these. So these were made so that Jews could give Chanukah geld, or in Hebrew, Damei Chanukah, to their children. But then after Israel adopted 1 lira coins for circulation, 63, they ended the series. And then 72, they started up with higher denominations, often silver, sometimes copper, nickel, never gold. There are no gold Hanukkah commemoratives. That piece down the bottom is actually brass and is the same metal as the circulating Hatzi shekel, Hadash. And so you see, we have on the left, we've got 2 of the 1 lira coins that were issued in the original series. Then we have the first one of the 5 lirot when they started up the Hanukkah coins again. And these, they started using the Hanukkah lamps. And then next to is the American one. Below are the shekel and new shekel coins. And that's where they ended in 1990, that series. But then they started up doing circulating coins. So they started with the 10 shekelim in 84. Sorry, 83 is 44. Because the Jewish calendar switches in fall and Hanukkah is in late fall. So, and then they switched to the whole series under the new shekel. So you have a 10 agora coin, and then they started issuing mint sets where they recycled the designs from the original coin series. So let me take a quick look. So we'll get to the Euro series in a little bit, and then you can see what they are. So there was a comment on that. So they actually issued 1 new lamp from Curacao in 2000. But after that, they stopped doing the Hanukkah coins entirely. There we go. So then we have Purim. That's a very short series. They just have the half lira, and then they issue the medal, the silver medal, which can be used for the paying the temple tax. And so so there's only two in that series. And also the Purim one is the only commemorative coin that Israel used the same design in two consecutive years. And Pidyon Haben. So again, we have, well, there are three different designs. So this gets a little interesting. The reverse has three different designs, and they are sequentially numbered. But then the obverse with the date and denomination, they shifted them around. So those actually have like an ABC, and then some of them are the regular issue with the plain edge, and some of them have the reeded edge. Mostly the sets you see below that were given, those are the regular issue and not the proof. Those were designed to actually be given to the priest to redeem the child. And then they started issuing medals, and you see the pomegranate medal in the upper right. Those were originally issued in proof-like, and then later ones were true proofs. And then they added this new Aleppo Codex design for the Pidyon Haben. They actually are minting, well, they're selling both. I don't know if they're still minting both. Maybe that they just have a lot of old stock of the older Pidyon Haben medals, but they may be minting both now. So that's the Pidyon Haben. And so what the coins were issued from 70 to 77, and then the price of silver was going up, and Israel decided that the mintages were going down. It wasn't as much demand. And so they decided, well, let's just do metals, and then we don't have to date them, and we can mint them as long as we need to. But they did end up doing two different designs. So after the Hanukkah series ended in 90, and the Hanukkah series, most of the pieces show lamps. Israel started doing a ritual art, which is basically Sabbath art, for they're a short 3-coin series. They did a Kiddush cup, a Sabbath lamp or candelabra, and a spice box with two different items, one on the obverse, one on the reverse. And so this was intended to be a 3-year series, and that's what they did. This replaced the Hanukkah coins. All right, so the next series, let me get back to here. Oops, it skipped. There we go. After the ritual series completed, Israel started a series of biblical artwork. Originally, these were based on pre-existing artwork. So you see the ones on the left, they have these like line drawings, and these are based upon actual Renaissance or medieval artwork, but evolved into new artwork in and of itself. The original artwork used line drawings and negative space. Later coins use different finishes for a tricolored effect. You can see that particularly on that Isaiah piece in the bottom middle. And every year has a silver 1 and 2 new shekel and a gold 10 shekel. But some years also have a small 1/25 ounce gold shekel, often with abbreviated inscriptions, and they don't necessarily have the same date as the other coins, which can make things confusing if you use a chronologic-based catalog like the Krause catalog. Although these technically fit in with historic personalities or with the biblical wildlife themes, biblical artwork is an official series. And that is still going today, by the way, although they don't issue them necessarily every year. This is also an official series. It's very short-lived. They only had 2 coins, one commemorating music, one commemorating architecture. The architecture coin is the only colorized coin that Israel has issued so far, although only the silver have the enamel, the gold does not. Historic person. So here we have the Euro piece that I was referring to. So these are actual official issues of the Israel Government Coins and Metals Corporation. It wasn't privatized yet. In 2008, around there, it became the Israel Coins and Metals Corporation. There was a Rabin and a Meir, and they were issued 96 and 97, and they're denominated in euro. And you know, I bought a set at auction. Actually, I bought one of each. It came with the certificate of authenticity and everything else saying it was Israel Government Coins and Metals Corporation. So I was surprised to see that because it's in the Bruce catalog under unusual, but it is an official issue. And yeah, it was done in Utrecht, but almost all of Israel's commemorative coins are struck in another country. That doesn't really signify much. So this started off 1960 with the Herzl commemorative. And it's an unofficial series, although the Bank of Israel does mention it. So originally they were concerned about idolatry, that religious Jews may object to having a human being on coins. So one rabbinical authority, I think based upon a multi-centuries old rabbinic ruling, said, well, if it's a cameo, if it's sunken, if it only shows one eye, then it's not idolatry. So you can see you've got the portrait itself is raised, but it's in a sunken rectangle or rounded rectangle, and only one eye is visible. And they did that for the Weizmann in '62 as well. What's confusing is that this exact same design was used on the anniversary commemorative the same year, the silver 5-lirot. But they are actually 2 separate series. The gold coin came out in July. The silver anniversary was, I think, in April. And they actually listed them as a different series, even though they're using the same design. And so the catalog will cross-reference all the Herzl. There is also a later anniversary series for the centennial of of the Basel, the first Basel conference. Zionist organization also has Herzl on it. So Jabotinsky. So by the time they got to 1980, the rabbinical authorities had said, well, it's a commemorative, it doesn't really matter, do what you want. So then they have the regular portrait. Also for the anniversary coin with Rothschild on it, have a normal portrait. But then when they went to the circulating commemoratives, so when Israel was suffering from very high inflation in the late mid 80s, which they arrested very quickly in 86. But they had this inflation, so the banknotes were being constantly replaced with coins. And when Herzl came off the 10 shekel, they wanted to have a special commemorative for it. But they were concerned, okay, a circulating coin, people may be much more sensitive about the issue of idolatry. So they did this photographic quality. You can see that, I had to hold the coin specifically so that the light hit it the right way. So the fields show up as white, and the rough areas show up as black, so it looks like a photograph. And Jabotinsky also, there was a whole series of pieces, 7 or 8 coins. So that is another piece of this series. that is in here. So, excuse me. The catalog numbers for these are based on the person. So the Meyer piece, so Golda Meir was put on a 10 shekel coin because she was on the 10 new shekel banknote, and 10 new shekel coin came out by Metallic. They made a special coin for her. So that's actually PH with an 8 is Meir. And so that's the first piece. And this is another piece of that same series. For the Herzl, you'll see here's the gold coin is 1A. And then, 24 years later, they issue this 10 shekel circulating coin. That's 1B because it goes by the person. And to try and organize it better. And if somebody wants to collect Herzl, then they can easily find all the pieces. It doesn't matter what year. So Rabin, I don't have the picture here, but he was on the other euro coin. He's also in the Nobel Prize winners. And the Jabotinsky coin happens to be the only shekel denominated coin with a denomination above 20. They kept the shekel chadash and the shekel. They did the same thing where it's basically 20 shekelim to a gold ounce. And then 2 shekel became an ounce, but originally it was like 0.85 or something ounces of silver based upon the ancient Tyrian shekels. So also these people are on banknotes, and it'll mention what banknotes they're on. There's another specific series. This one only has 5 coins in it, Nobel Prize winners. So these are Israelis and honorary Israelis. I mean, Einstein, was offered the presidency of the state of Israel due to his experience with Nazi Germany. He was a strong supporter of Zionism. Actually, even before Nazi Germany, I think he was involved with Hebrew University in the 20s. And so they also include him. And here they have an interesting portrait with the E equals MC squared, energy and matter being alike. If an electron sometimes acts like a particle, sometimes as a wave. So they show the Einstein portrait kind of as waves. So that's a very interesting design there. So that's the Nobel Prize winners. Then we go into wildlife and for nature. So the Biblical Wildlife series ran from 1991 to 2000, although it skipped 1999. Each coin shows a species of plant and an animal with an appropriate quote from Song of Songs or Shir HaShirim, Song of Solomon. This is the only series where every coin has 4 of each coin type. It's got the gold 1 shekel, which here is 1/10 ounce. Really should have been 2 shekel to be consistent, but they had as a 1 shekel, and then the 5 shekel quarter ounce, and then the silver 1 and 2 shekel. The Biblical Art series, which ran concurrently and still in use, occasionally shows animals, but they're not based on the Song of Songs. The Biblical Wildlife was strictly Song of Songs. And then a very short series, Views of Israel. So there were a series of 3 that came out in consecutive years, 2013 to 15, of Views of Israel. And but they did revive it in 2022 with the Gamla coin. So it may be an ongoing series. We'll just have to see. And Holy Sites. So this was a series from 82 to 90. It was the first new series of the shekel denominations that was introduced, and it kept going through the new shekel. These are all the 5 shekel gold coins, but the shekel and the half shekel were also all 12-sided, representing the 12 tribes of ancient Israel. These are also the only series to use non-round planchets. And they also were half the normal denomination. The uncirculated was half, the proof was 1 shekel silver. And Israel decided that the mintages were getting low, and they decided, well, let's start issuing medals for these different sites, and people can buy medals, and we can just make as many as people want and keep doing it for decades. So that's why they stopped this series. But of course, there's a series of medals you can also get. So there's another series now for UNESCO, and there are 6 coins currently in the series. There are 16 UNESCO sites in Israel. So there's room for more, but they did the more famous ones, Akko and the White City, Tel Aviv, Megiddo, Masada. So you can see they have the little UNESCO symbol on them, and they're showing, well, both sides have something designed from it, which is nice when they don't just have the denomination on the back. So that's only the new shekel. They started around 2000. Here it is, 2005, I think. Unfortunately, it's kind of blocked on my view. 2006. That was the White City, was the first one. So then we have this new series, and this is the only series that is all gold. It's the Bullion Jerusalem Views series. They start off at the Tower of David. They all have the lion symbol of the Central Command of Israel. That's based on the Megiddo seal that was found there in 1904. So they all have this reverse, and the obverse with the denomination and the date shows different views. So the Western Wall was the second one. I think that may have been the most popular. Later on, the 10th one was the train. They're up to like 14 now with the National Library. So this series keeps going. They're also the only coins marked with their fineness and weight, because they are sold, I think it's 30% over the metal value. And this mixes ancient, medieval, and modern views. Although people like to call this the Tower of David, it actually was built by the Crusaders. And of course, the train and the windmill. The windmill was the 1800s. The train is very recent. All modern. And here's an unofficial series. So now we have contemporary commemoratives. So these are sports related. So originally, Israel issued a couple of coins. Well, they issued a Paralympics participation coin. That was the first one back in '92. And then, thanks to the breakup of the Soviet Union and all of these Jews coming in from the Soviet Union, some of them were Olympic athletes, Israel won a medal for windsurfing and then for judo. And so they issued special commemorative coins here. And although they portray people, it's just a generic, they're not portraying specific people. Israel's never portrayed a living person on their coins. Then we have the FIFA Cup. Israel wasn't even a participant, but a lot of Israelis follow what we call soccer here in America, what they call football over there. I think it's Kidor Regal in Hebrew. And so they were issuing coins for that. And then we have the current events that aren't sports related. So, this was really big in Roman times. They would issue coins to tell you what's going on, and doing things that are current, that are contemporary. So the first coin that Israel did was the liberation of the Western Wall as part of the Six-Day War, victory commemorative, silver 10 lirot and a gold 100 lirot. And then Let My People Go for the Soviet Union and Arab countries. Came out in '71. And then there have been a number of peace commemoratives, although this one here, so you notice that this number doesn't line up. This is one of the anniversary of the state commemoratives, but it's also a contemporary commemorative. So there's going to be cross-referencing when something covers two different topics. Year 2000, it's not actually commemorating the 2000th anniversary of anything. It's commemorating the actual year switching to 2000. And then we have the latest one, which is the only circulating coin. So Israel recently changed. They decided to stop using the transliteration shekalim, which confuses Anglophones because we're not used to pronouncing a Q like a K. It's more of a French thing. But there's two different letters in Hebrew. There's a kaf and a kuf, and they wanted to show that it's a kuf and not a kaf. And some Israelis pronounce those letters slightly differently. So they changed it now to English, so it says new shekels. And this is the only circulating coin so far. They may be switching the rest of them over, but they haven't done it yet. So this is with gratitude to the healthcare workers for the COVID pandemic. And they also changed the way the shekel was spelled in Arabic, changed from a kuf to a kaf. All right. So there's not just one way to collect. There's over 600 coin types. So if you don't want to embark on, a complete set, what can you do? Well, you can start off, you can collect one from each series. That's just 17 coins. You could expand that a little to get one of each denomination from each series. That's probably around 50 coins. You can specialize in one series. Of course, there's some that are really short. That'd be like 6 coins, even if you do the gold. Whereas the anniversary one is going to be much longer. You can go by topic, birds or cities. There are all kinds of different possible topics. I also do Paleo Hebrew on coins, circulating and commemorative. Or you can try and do it, just do like the lirot denominated silver coins. They're not going to make any more of those. So you've got a specific set that you can work with, and you don't have to have the expensive gold. Or if you like gold, especially if you're going to buy gold, and most of these are available at just a little over melt, you could do like the shekel denominated gold coins. Or you can just do the base metal coins and their associated mint sets. That's a lot less expensive. You can collect one of each design. So whatever you're doing, instead of doing every single denomination, you can just collect one of the design. Or, you could collect all coins of a specific year. The catalog isn't specifically designed for that, but it's going to come with a Excel spreadsheet that you can sort however you want. So you can find all the ones for a year, and there'll be a cross-reference with the coins issued for each year. And so you can build a satisfying collection and then maybe move on to another one. So other things I want to put in this catalog. Collectors are going to be using the catalog in different ways. You can identify coins that they have or they're considering for purchase. You want to map out a collecting strategy or just conduct research. So no one method of organization is going to fit. So you need charts and cross-referencing and spreadsheets. So there will be charts showing which series and denominations were issued each year, as I just mentioned. There will also be cross-referencing different catalog numbers used by the different, particularly Krause, which is the most popular one right now. Cross-references to mint sets or second series that the coins will thematically fit with. So like if you're doing contemporary commemoratives and there are, some anniversary coins that are honoring contemporary events, you may want to know about that. So it'll be in there. The years, so the years are actually going to be shown however it's written on the coin. And then in parentheses, it will indicate either the Hebrew year in Western numerals or if it's not given, most commemoratives have the CE year, but it'll be given there. And there's a few that have the Arabic as well, and that'll be given. The circulating coins go back into the Egyptian and Palestine currency board, and those have the dates in Arabic as well. And the Arabic will be there. If the commemorative is associated with a particular date, the date's shown in both the Jewish and Gregorian calendars. So Hanukkah actually is a little unusual. The month of Kislev can have either 29 or 30 days. And so the end date is not always the same every year. It could be the second of Tevet or the third. And then it can run between years also in the Gregorian calendar, but it's always going to be a range. And also there's an introductory section that describes the alphabets and the inscriptions and the calendars, issuing authorities, denominations, chronology. So really giving people a leg up. Doesn't assume, like a lot of the other catalogs, that you have this knowledge. I know the Krause, like they give at the beginning, they show all the dates with Hebrew, but then you have to keep going back and forth. And this one, actually, the dates, as I said, the Hebrew is shown in the listing itself with a conversion right there. So, so that's what I have. So I guess we can now look at the questions. I can see them also.
So did you answer the Euro coins question? I think he was asking about
yeah, so unfortunately when I left, it dropped the questions from that were there before. So the Euro one, yeah, it was issued by the Dutch Mint. It was minted by the Dutch Mint, but it was under contract with the Israel government. So it is actually an official Israel series, and that's why I'm including it. There will be a section in the back on fantasy issues that include Dutch pieces that were not authorized, such as the shekel denominated coins of 1962 and 3 and Mexico 64. So they will be in there, but not in this section with the official Israel issues. Go ahead.
Okay. So somebody wants to know your recommended most recent catalog that lists everything in the most manageable manner. I mean,
yeah, so I would say people can email. You can email Paula, and she'll forward the emails to me, and I will send you the spreadsheet that does all the cross-referencing for you. And I think that would be the best way to do it until my catalog actually comes out. I have the trade coins, and I'm on the verge of finishing up the mint set section for the trade coins, but it's probably going to take me a couple years to get the commemoratives all done. And these will be PDF, although it'll be on a site that you can have them print. Not sure which one yet, because in 2 years, who knows what's going to happen. But this will be, the PDF will be given free to members of the American Israel Numismatic Association, and it'll include a coupon for half price for the first year if you want to join and you buy it separately. We'll be selling it very cheap, probably $5, which is less than half of this dues. So you'll be getting a discount. And although we don't control, if you want to print it, with whatever they charge for printing, it's going to be hundreds of pages. I can tell you that. Just the circulating stuff and the mint sets is already 265 pages. So this is not going to be a small book. And these are 8.5 by 11 pages. I want to make it a normal page size so that you don't have to do anything special. Are there other questions in there?
Yeah. How many coins are there depicting the Hanukkah lamp?
So the lamp series also depends on how you define coin. So I believe, actually, let me just take a quick look. Unfortunately, I had that up on the other computer and then I had to reboot, but it'll just take me a moment to bring it up on the spare computer. All right, so for the Hanukkah coins, here we go. So the lamps started with number 5. So the first 4 you can ignore. And then if you ignore the trade coins that have that little lamp that isn't really anything, that's 15 there. And it starts up again. Another 3 is 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. There's 23. Plus there's one for the Knesset lamp, which is not a Hanukkah lamp. It is a 7-branched lamp, but they did put it with the Hanukkah coins. So there's 23 or 24, depending on how you count. 25 if you count the little tiny menorah on the circulating coins. Those are the different menorahs themselves. And then there are up to 4 coins, different denominations showing that design. So whether you want to include those or not is up to you.
Okay, printed catalog online? Question mark? I think we answered that, yes?
Yep. Yeah, that'll be up to the website. I know Amazon gives you that option. I'm currently printing out. We issue a journal called the Shekel, and they gave us the option of having people just order directly from their website and pay a fee to print it out.
Why is it listed in Bruce Unusual World Coins catalog?
All right, so I think they're referring to the euro. You would have to ask them, but what they started doing was if they did a denomination, if they had a coin that did not have a denomination, like the Sin Gold from Singapore, originally did not have a denomination, they were not in dollars, and then they later on put them in dollars. They put those in the Unusual World catalog, and since this is in euro, and that's not a denomination Israel is authorized to use, they put it under Unusual World. So I'm pretty sure that, you know.
I just scrolled down, it says he's talking about the Isra Numis catalog. Does that help with that or not?
Sorry. No, the Unusual World catalog is the Krause.
Okay, I was just trying to connect these back to.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just trying to get to the gist of this question. Talking about the large copper medals issued by the Israel government, Coins and Metals Corporation. He was wondering.
Right. So those are metals, not coins, and I'm not covering those in the coin part of the catalog. And I do eventually hope to include metals, but right now we're just doing coins. The only metals are the, really tokens. They're silver. They're intended to be used for a particular purpose. They have a specific weight, so they have they technically have an inferred denomination of half shekel or shekel, and so those are being included. But otherwise, I'm not including metals in this catalog.
Okay. And I just sorry, Odette, I was definitely messing up your questions here. He had another question. How is your catalog different from the one that was issued in Israel a few years ago? And that's where he's saying he's talking about the Isra Numis catalog.
Okay. Yeah, so the biggest difference is going to be the amount of information. They have a listing, and it's just a simple listing. Mine's going to have the details like in the Hafner. Let's go back and take a look. I unfortunately don't know an easy way to do this, but here, oops. So here is the Isra the Numismatica one, and you see it's just a simple listing. Whereas the Hafner you see on the right, it's got description. You know, it actually tells you about the coin, and I intend to include that description rather, and even embellish on it, including, you know, they don't have the Hebrew in the description. I would include the Hebrew and any Arabic in the inscription. Although standard inscriptions like the name of the state, that's going to be in the introduction. But so it's going to go into a lot more detail, and it's going to have all these cross references, and it's going to be organized differently. I don't think anybody is organizing in quite as many series as I'm doing for the commemoratives. And then the coins, the circulating coins, go back to British Egypt. And they are arranged by denomination through all the series. So like if you look at the 100-pound banknote from Egypt, goes to the Palestine Currency Board 100-pound, then it jumps to the Bank of Israel 100-pound, and then that becomes a 10 shekel banknote, and then 10 shekel coin, and then a 1 agara coin under the new shekel series. That's the sequence that is shown, that denomination through all the different issuing authorities. And so that's not anything that I've seen anyone else do. And sometimes the designs that Israel uses are based upon the previous designs. And so that helps you see the continuity.
Is there a list of AINA medals?
So the Hafner catalog did include the AINA medals up until 1990, and then they were issued up until around 2000, early 2000s. They were issued. I don't know if there's an official list. I mean, I have them all. I could probably put them up on the shekel.org website. But I don't know currently if there is one.
Okay. Will your catalog include actual metal weight of the silver or gold? And how
Yes.
about valuations?
Not valuations, although there may be an appendix for that. But it will have the actual silver weight, as well as, like you see here, like 0.750 silver, 20 grams. But it would also say what that is in ASW, which is something around 0.5, it looks like. But so yes, it will have both. I've been doing that for the circulating, because you have those, the 250 and the 500 pruta silver, and then of course under Egypt and Palestine, you had silver circulating coins, and under Egypt, gold circulating coins. That's all included in there.
Okay, it looks like, let's see. Odette said there is already a list of the AINA medals on AINA's website. What's missing is a list of all the IGCMC annual membership medals that they sent to their subscribers.
Oh, so those aren't AINI, those are the season greetings.
Okay.
And those Hafner lists up to the point she stopped. And then actually when they went to the Holy Land Mint, privatized in 2008, I think they did like 1 or 2, and then they stopped. So yeah, that I mean, we could put it in there. It will, as I said, eventually I intend to do medals, and also doing them by series, which is going to take a little bit of effort to figure out. But some of them are very straightforward, like the season's greetings. Those probably would be made available before parsing through all the other medals. So yeah, we could probably add the season greetings there. And as I said, eventually I hope to expand this to medals, but that's going to be a multi-year undertaking.
Okay, well, I think last question, why do they take years and years to release the final mintages of the recent silver and gold commemoratives?
I think they still sell them for a while. I know that I've seen them on eBay, and I know APMEX sells some of the older ones. And so they have a maximum mintage, which may be what they physically mint. because when you're talking about 2,000 or 555 for the gold, it doesn't make sense to do that in a bunch of different batches. So I think they mint the full amount, and then they try and sell them, and then they eventually melt what's left over. And so I think they wait a few years, they try and sell them, and I think that's why. I mean, I can't speak for them. I don't know for sure, but I do know that these coins are being sold for several years after they're issued. The US did that with the bicentennial coins. They were out there for, I think, almost a decade before they finally melted the surplus.
Great. Okay, I think we've gotten all of the questions. I want to thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to Simcha for a great presentation and all the questions added to it at the end. Our NumismaTalks are being recorded and will be available to our members on our new e-learning academy once they are edited. Please be sure to check for future programs on our website at money.org under the Education tab. Thank you again, Simcha, and I hope everybody has a great day.